Boomerang.
Boomerang, you say? Well,
Darn.
there's a heart and sank and
darn.
50 rupees at Link's house, so a whole lot of not at the moment.
Well, we got a whole lot of not, and ACMLM is going to be heading on over to try the 50-50 chance of getting some bombs underneath the bushes. While AmazingAmpharos is going to head on over to the lumberjack tree and let us know immediately whether or not Agadem is required. And ACM, no luck.
Yep. So yes, I did in fact go confirm that they are in fact both 2-0, and this is going to be a race for a very secure, a very nice spot heading into the next week.
So who did AmazingAmpharos end up beating? Well, I know in week number 1 he beat GamerCal.
Aha.
It was a very, very difficult opponent to beat anyways, and we find 20 rupees in the library, and it looks like a heart container inside the lumberjack tree. So no anxiety at this moment.
Very true. You always want to make sure that you know, though, because having that knowledge is much more valuable than not having that knowledge. It looks like AmazingAmpharos last week defeated Problems IRL. Whereas ACMLM is a robot, and we all know this. So, defeated Kyung92 and Kuroya in the past 2 weeks.
That really is a lot of tough opponents right there. And this is what this randomizer tournament is all about. We've got a lot of tough opponents all around. ACMLM robbing the chicken coop for 300 rupees.
Oh, we have ourselves a bomb pull.
That's good. I believe that would be the tier 2 bomb pull there for AmazingAmpharos, and I didn't see what 100 rupees earned, but I don't think it was worth anything good to ACMLM.
No.
Oh, there we got ourselves a power glove in the well.
All right. There's the power glove, and I'm told it is in fact so bad.
It was so bad it held half magic in the red bottle and more money. So the well is giving you your refund for buying bombs at the merchant.
That is true. All right, so Blind's Hut today, just a whole lot of money so far. There's a sword and a bottle with some green goo in it.
So 2 bottles in Kakariko Village. Very nice to find. What does the sick kid have for us?
A shield, apparently. A little bit of a plastic shield to ward off a whole lot of not much.
I heard it was manufactured by Fisher-Price.
That is a possibility. Yeah, I heard that sometimes it ends up being manufactured by Hasbro. It depends on the seed.
Well, maybe Mattel.
There is that.
Well, how about this race here so far? Both of these guys finding some easy pickings right now, and you know, when you have a race between these two players, that means we've got ourselves a nice and free seed so far. Could we be in for that story Jet seed?
Ooh. I mean, we had a pretty good Jet seed last night in Jet's race. So, you never know.
So let's swap positions. ACMLM is going to be heading up to the Lost Woods, and AmazingAmpharos is going to continue to clean up this town. What do you guys think is going to be the trolley item? There's always one. That one item that keeps you from go mode.
Let's see. I'm going to go with Mirror. Just to be weird. Really, the only way that happens is if you have Swamp Palace required, or the really, really trolly Fat Fairy Aghanim play.
Oh, I love that kind of play. We've had some humdingers of a seed. I heard that there was a secondary race earlier today which had boots required, and people ended up going without the boots to find out that it
Ooh.
was required.
That's just beautiful. Those are the sort of, wonderful things that the randomizer exposes you to.
Key map. Ew, that's a horrible backside of escape. And AmazingAmpharos is going to be playing the race game to find that he will not be getting anything good.
Yep.
But 50
So,
rupees
yeah.
is still 50 rupees and keeps you getting closer to, well, gets you closer to Zora.
Right. So, at what point, how few good items do you have to have before you start, before you just go into the race game and not check?
Let's see. Depends on, usually for me, it depends on my setup. I'll at least sometimes go in blind if I'm heading in from the north, but the situation changes.
Cool. All right, so ACMLM is checking out the Uncle's Tunnel.
Cool.
And
Uncle's Tunnel is just a half a heart.
That is true. It's a pretty half-hearted attempt at a tunnel. And moving on. So, ACMLM will now be heading into the escape. We noticed that when he picked up the key in the back of escape, he did not attempt to head into the dark escape room, which I do not blame him for one bit.
Well, we now know that there will be an item in that dark room.
Yep. Interestingly enough, AmazingAmpharos is taking the vanilla route to get to the Uncle's Tunnel. I'm not sure if that's any faster or slower, but there's the Quake Medallion
Quack,
inside
quack.
the escape. Quack.
Your quack is better than mine.
Nah, it's just more realistic. That doesn't make it better.
We keep this up, or they're going to be sending us to quacks.
Yeah, probably. Alright, so ACMLM heading into the tunnel, or not the tunnel, the blue guard room. Just picking up 20 rupees in there, and now we head down to Zelda's chest.
Hey, it is late night in some parts of the world, isn't it?
Yep, it's night here. I wouldn't call it late night, but it's pretty dark here. Alright, so AA picking up that Quake Medallion. ACMLM going to set up the Death Warp.
Yep, gets it pretty fine. Gets himself ready to die. Thankfully, that's not an end of a...
Oh, that would have been
part.
pretty problematic there.
We've already seen enough highlight videos on this, on our clips page of people who die trying to death abuse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to make sure, don't try it right after you picked up a fairy.
Don't let it be the fourth piece of your piece of heart, and ACM knows this all too well that we don't even need to see where he is.
Mm-hmm. Now, heading to the dark chest from the front is a much easier proposition, in my opinion, than heading from the back. Mainly because if you head in from the back, there's a rat that you have to kill in that one room, and you can't see it, so you just have to get lucky.
Well, the only thing you have to really worry about here is that you could still end up having the snakes, and he's using the boomerang to figure out where he is, and I like this strategy. And now he's going to try to back up and try to figure out where he is in correspondence to the chest, and I believe he's in the right spot.
He's just to the right. There we are.
There we are, and it's
10
arrows. What a reward for going through that dark room.
Well, what you really get the reward of is the peace of mind knowing you don't have to go back there.
That's exactly correct. But you'd love to have a better reward for going through it. Because at this point, you know that both of these runners know the caliber of each other. They know that every move you make, you've got to wonder if that opponent is making that same move.
Indeed. So, I'm told by the chat here that AA tends to not sequence break, while ACM is known for doing some sequence breaks occasionally. So we're going to see some differences in routing style here, and that's going to be exciting.
Well, the thing is if a sequence break helps give ACMLM a little bit of a lead, then more power to them.
But again, a sequence break can also lead you off on a wild goose chase that doesn't do you any good.
Yep, and that's why AmazingAmpharos is able to catch up some time on people who do sequence break. Ooh, who's gonna have to be careful now.
Oh yeah, 1 heart in Mini Moldorm Cave. And these Mini Moldorms, it doesn't matter how skilled you are, sometimes they will troll you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
But he gets him down, and let's find out. We have money. Bomb upgrade. Heart container. Money. Well, these guys have enough money for Zora, although they're probably not going to be making the trip right now because they're missing the Moon Pearl, which would be kind of required if you wanted to try and pull off that sequence break.
Yes,
but we're not going to see AmazingAmpharos do that.
For those of you who are new to the newest randomizer, there were a couple of chests added to the waterfall cave to mirror those chests that were in the Fat Fairy cave up near Zora, and the only way you can get those, you can fake flipper up to it, but you can't actually walk up and grab the chests unless you do a trick called the Jesus Walk, which requires you to have the Moon Pearl. Another option, of course, is to have the actual flippers.
I love the fact that both of these guys are checking the Ice Rod Cave right now to find out that it's a piece of heart. Yay!
Yep. Now, this is the difference. ACMLM walking out to do a sequence break, AmazingAmpharos is just saving and quitting out. Looks like he'll be heading to the Eastern play.
Eating Eastern and Sarasula, so we're going to find out what's behind him.
Yep, there's a potential for 6 items in this entire trip over here.
And ACMLM pulls off the fake flippers pretty good, and watch him move.
He sure knows how to swim.
Vanilla piece of heart. We have not seen a map check from either of these runners just yet.
That is true. Hopefully if and when Ampharos takes a step into Eastern, we'll be able to hear that music. Now, I believe I saw the blue mail for AmazingAmpharos in the back of Sahazula's cave. 300 rupees from the hobo. What is he doing under a bridge if he has all of that money?
Hoarding it.
Apparently so. I'd like to give a shout out to our tracker, Mr. Philion, today. Thank you so much for that.
We need to give him more items to track. Well, we know Eastern is a crystal.
Indeed. Now, I used to get the two themes confused rather strongly. I just told myself, if you just listen for those staccato strings at the beginning, that's the Dark World.
Light World music has that little sad horn.
And AmazingAmpharos heading over to the east side of Eastern Palace, which is certainly not a place you see in the NMG route, but there's just 20 rupees there.
He's moving on up to the east side.
Yeah. I'm told he finally got a piece of the pie,
Yeah, all 20 rupees.
Let's see. So, will we get super excited for an underrated item? If the powder happens, I will get excited for that.
Well, in that case, get ready. We're going to find the powder real soon, if that's the case.
Looks like AA went south just ever so slightly too early.
Ooh,
How about
there's
the
the
lamp?
lamp. That's interesting just before you come up to where you need the lamp.
Indeed. So that's going to add another chest to the possibilities here. I don't believe AA found the big key, and so
Yeah, so
you're
we
actually
got
gonna find
vanilla
that.
big key.
Yep. But luckily you get the lamp, so it's not a sequence break.
That does also open up Dark World not Dark World. That opens up Death Mountain access.
Aha! Very nice. Now it's just the first part of Death Mountain, so there's only a couple items you can really access. But if we find the hookshot or, say, mirror and hammer, then we're in business.
Right now, mirror would make Tower of Hera beatable.
Yep. The lamp gives you access to that basement room if you need it, and everything else is just fine as long as you got a sword or the hammer to take down Moldorm. Yes, that is another important aspect. If you go up to Death Mountain right now, rescue the old man, you unlock that point that allows you to save and quit right back there.
And inside the big key. Oh!
Titan's
Titan's Mitt inside the big chest at Eastern. That doesn't open up anything just yet, but we're now Moon Pearl away from Dark World access.
Right. If they had Hookshot, it would open Super Bunny Cave. Sort of. Not in the actual logic, but it would give them the possibility of getting there.
Now the question becomes, where is the bow? Could this been a forced double dip of Eastern Palace?
Well, I'm gonna say probably. Well, maybe. There's very little. There are very few chests around that are not going to be locked by some form of either the lamp or the Titan's Mitts.
Actually, right now, based on what they have, the only two spots would be Agena and Zora.
Yeah, looks like it. And of course, Pyramid. Well, no, they can't even get to stinking Aghanim. You're right. Oh, man. Yeah, Zora's not a sequence break. Gina's not a sequence break.
But now with the lamp in hand, now we have more of a possibility. Now, the only thing we were mentioning earlier was that Death Mountain requires the lamp at this point, so therefore that would have been a required double dip of Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to go through the dark room, say hello to an old man, and lead him up the mountain, where he's probably going to give you a 5 rupee tip.
I'm told his name is Gary. Gary Oldman. I'm also told that very many people's names in this game are Gary. He's Gary. The chest opening guy is Gary.
Ooh, he's a little more of a bigger tipper this time around, giving 20 rupees.
There is that.
People yelling at us for our dad jokes, sorry. Not sorry.
What can I say? No, not really. Well, there's a heart container on top of Spectacle Rock, and inside Spectacle Rock Cave we have just a big 20.
So this is not where the game wants him to go.
Looks like
That
Zora
leaves
might be the play.
Yep, Zora or Agena.
Mm-hmm. And AmazingAmpharos is making the play toward the desert. And it looks like ACMLM is following right behind. We have sort of a convergence of routes here with the every single location checked on both sides. You guys like close races? Because so far, pretty close.
I kind of expected it with these two. These two are very, very talented at the game. ACMLM is going to give us a little more information by seeing what's on the desert ledge first before he goes into Agina. So we find 20 rupees there. That's not really what ACMLM wants to see when he finally gets the book, but that's good intel.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Agnes Cave contains the Moon Pearl. And there we go. So Dark World is open. We'll be heading over to the portal north of Kakariko Village because that's basically the only one you can access with Myths and Pearl.
That's right, AmazingAmpharos. You did have to go back and kiss the girl.
Yep.
So no map check in the light world. Will we get a map check in the dark world?
I imagine so. There are a lot of really high-end players who decide not to check the map in the light world because it wastes time. Especially if you know what it is in the dark world, you can just sort of reason it out from there.
Okay, no map check. Let's go ahead and check Skull Woods. Hashtag. Oh, we got all 3 crystals. 2, 3, 4 looked like in the light world, and we've got 5 in Skull Woods. I saw Swamp has a pendant, so may not be required.
I saw red pendant on Turtle Rock.
Green pendant over at Ice Palace.
All right, so Ice, Swamp, and Turtle Rock. Which means flippers might not be required. Fire Rod will be required, but Ice Rod might not. Anyways, hashtag this is version 26. Guess where you're going?
Big key early. AmazingAmpharos falls down the hole.
Ooh. A little too low on that bomb jump, it looked like. And made it the second time.
Bug
net.
That's exactly what they wanted to find. Now they can beat this game. You know how Aghanim 2 requires it?
I'm pretty sure.
Shovel!
And the shovel! The shovel! Well, we don't know. That could be something very important once you go dig it up. So a very quick check for Skull Woods, 2 items up front. That means you have everything in there.
They say goodbye to Skull Woods, and both of them are going to go check the Bumper Cave, see what's up there.
Looks like the 2 special Fat Fairy crystals are Skull Woods and Misery Mire.
Yay, for all your important needs.
Alright, so just a bunch of blueberries up on top of the Bumper Cave, and we just saw there ACM taking the lead ever so slightly.
Yeah, it depends on how fast you turn away from there. Let's go ahead and see what's inside the Sea House. Oh, there's bottle number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so let's go check the chest game where you can get the chest in the first game. What you get is determined either in chest number 1 or chest number 2, and it turns out 3 bombs. Yay.
3 bombs for days. All day, every day. Well, at least we're not running out of explosives anytime soon.
If we called this a horse race, like how tight it is right now, would be completely out of a voice by the time we get to 11 o'clock. Hey, there's a sword upgrade.
All right, so the Master Sword found in the bombable hut south of Thieves Town now. Both runners opting to go south and avoid going into Thieves Town at the moment.
Okay, guys, time for the digging game. It's time to guess which dig you think it's going to be. It could be anywhere between 1 and 30. What number?
23.
23. You're going to count them all, aren't you?
No, I'm going to look at the formation at the end and count. How about the
Hook
hook
shot!
shot in 4? 4 digs. And there's the hook shot. So that's a big deal right now.
That does open up Death Mountain access a little more than what we saw earlier. And all of this, at this point, is just increasing the possibilities where the bow can be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it could be evil. And we've yet to see a seed like that just yet. The bow could be on the pedestal.
Oh. Hold on. Yep. I see no bow required dungeons for pedestals, for pendants. So that absolutely could be a thing.
And a arrow upgrade and ACMLM's using the hook shot to some advantage here, just helping them move around the map a little bit faster.
Yep. The hook shot gives you a lot of little advantage there. He also, as AmazingAmpharos also did, use the recoil from the bomb shooting tree to get a little more speed heading into the south area here. It's pretty great.
And that's right, you can't dig with a follower. We found that in the first game, or the first tournament rather. Time for the lackluster hype cave. You know why we call it lackluster? Oh, single arrow. Hi.
Well, that's certainly worth it. Fire shield. I'll certainly take that.
Wow.
And the mirror.
That opens up the Tower of Hera. Now we've got ourselves route divergence. And I'm not sure why, because I'm not certain what else ACMLM can check at this point. Oh, he's going to check the south of Haunted Grove.
Ah, yes. After just picking up that mirror, you can head over here and grab yourself a few more items. And while he's at it, he could go turn in the blacksmith.
AmazingAmpharos will turn them in a little bit faster than what ACMLM does, but let us see what this ends up being.
Just a piece of heart.
Piece of heart. And ACM, given his gameplay, he's not going to go ahead and pick that up.
Yep. So ACM could turn the frog in and then immediately grab the purple chest if he wanted to. And do that mess. He could use his save and quit to get closer to the purple chest turn in.
Which one will he do first? That's interesting. I really like to see where this is going to go for both of these runners. The AmazingAmpharos turning... they're actually going to turn them at the same time. How about some sync? Okay, what do we got this time? 20 rupees. They are nothing but counterfeiters. So there's a piece of me that would think at this point, why not head up to the Tower of Hera and try to complete that? There's a reason why these guys are better at this than I am. ACMLM, who already checked Haunted Grove, is now going to save and quit and have the chest in the light world, whereas AmazingAmpharos is going to go check the Haunted Grove now.
Yep. And I believe AmazingAmpharos may also check the dig spot.
Oh, right, yes, because he has the mirror now. That's right.
He can mirror to the light world, drop the chest, and dig.
Piece of heart. Doesn't need it. Bye.
Or not even go to the dark world because, hey, you're not going to go check Bombo's tablet, so...
Yeah. Well, AmazingAmpharos is only all he needs to do is check this dig spot, and that's it. It's only 20 rupees. And then all he has to do is turn the chest in. He doesn't have the book to check the Bombos tablet. He already checked what was that Stumpy, and ACMLM is now checking Death Mountain. Right play.
Yep. So Death Mountain at this moment has a whopping something like 18 items or something they can get. They had the first 2 already. So there's the 2 in Hera. There's the Spiral Cave. There are the 7 in Paradox Cave. There's 4 in Hookshot Cave. There's 2 in Super Bunny Cave. 1 in the Spike Cave if they find the silly hammer.
The silly hammer.
It is the silly hammer because, I mean, it looks like a wooden mallet that you would, somebody on the head with.
No, that's the one. That's the hammer in Ocarina of Time.
Now that sucker looks mean. I mean, it's pretty silly, but it's also mean.
People commenting on your sound effects strats, and ACMLM finds out he's going to be taking a 45-second break.
Mm-hmm. This 45-second break brought to you by the Witch's Juice Bar. Have you had a drink today?
Hey, red mail for AmazingAmpharos on the Paradox, the lower level.
Ah, yes, Floating Island. You can't forget that. Had an issue with that last night.
ACMLM apparently doesn't need to take a break. He's just going to go ahead and dance around these tiles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, red mail is nice. Paradox Cave turned out to be a bust.
Yep. But there's plenty more up here on Death Mountain where that came from.
Yep, because AmazingAmpharos is going to go ahead and check Spiral Cave next.
Yep. Might get that intel on the Floating Island as well.
Well, getting the intel on the island is going to be very nice because that tells you whether or not you need to mirror when you get back down. Or get back up, rather. And he doesn't.
Just vanilla Floating Island. Yeah, it's called the Paradox Cave because when you fall down the hole and then leave, you actually end up in a place that on the outer map appears above where you entered in the first place. So that's why it doesn't make sense. And the flute!
Found
the flute is in Spiral Cave!
Hera only had 2 heart containers. Yeah, I know where this game wants them to go next. Misery Mire Shed and Desert.
Yeah.
Ooh, ACMLM getting hit with a knockback and will put himself in a position to defeat a very troll dorm. And so ACMLM is going to go ahead and finish off. He will now drop on down after getting his 2 pieces of heart. And will now make his way over towards the east side where AmazingAmpharos has been all along. And we're going to see these 2 swap positions. Because we already know what's going to happen, we'll keep focus of AmazingAmpharos' screen for now.
Indeed. So AmazingAmpharos goes into the Super Bunny Cave, picks up 20 rupees and 10 arrows. Not really what you're looking for.
I think the flute is going to be the sole source of progression. So AmazingAmpharos is going to check out Turtle Rock and see what is required to get inside. It turns out to be the medallion they already have, the Quake.
Yep, and the vanilla medallion from the game itself, so there is that. Alright, so AmazingAmpharos making his way into the Hookshot Cave. And there's the hammer! The silly hammer, if you so desire.
Now he can go play whack-a-mole.
There it is, true.
and the cave, and a piece of heart, and
The flippers!
which technically was not required this seed, but this will probably lead AmazingAmpharos over towards Zora at some point.
Well, it's required if Bo is on the pedestal.
That's true. The more important medallion we need is going to be discovered by both of these runners probably in about, ACMLM probably in about 3 minutes from now. Probably the same for AmazingAmpharos, but he's going to have to sit through a tile room.
All right. So,
hook shot, flippers, hammer. Well, they have access now to swamp if they so need to.
There's 6 items in there, but you'd prefer not to go in there if it's a pendant dungeon. Or, I mean, some people would prefer that. I don't make the rules.
You know what would be the most evilest of things?
What would that be, sir?
Fire rod on the pedestal. Think about it.
Not happening.
No, it could.
Turtle Rock is a pendant?
Oh, that's right. It can't happen. They just glitch Trinex, okay?
Yeah, seems good. But bow on pedestal would be gross. Just actual gross. So, apparently, ACMLM has not done the spiral cave. That's potentially problematic. Now, he did pick up the hammer, so it looks like he's going to Spike Cave first.
This is not good. This is not fine.
Sometimes you make a calculated risk that Spiral Cave will not be a thing, and it turns out to be a thing. So that's going to give AmazingAmpharos a pretty good advantage if ACMLM doesn't go back there pretty quick.
And we find a piece of heart inside the Spike Cave. ACMLM saves and quits and goes back to Sanctuary. This is not good.
Oh man.
Because AmazingAmpharos is going to go ahead and start up the duck, and then head on over to Desert afterwards.
Indeed. That's going to be... Ooh. I can't imagine that ending well for ACMLM. Flute's definitely going to be required because you need Mire. Ooh.
And not only that, but you also need Desert, and there's no guarantee you're going to find the book anytime soon.
That is true. Ooh, that's going to be... It could be devastating.
Well, let's see what ACMLM does next. He's got the hammer. Next stop will be Thieves Town.
And AmazingAmpharos will also be following ACM's lead and heading into the Spike Cave, so that's going to be a quick check and a quick disappointment.
Let's see what we have inside Thieves Town. We do have a compass. This is a dungeon that is required, so ACMLM is making progress in this seed. We just know that where one spot he needs to go isn't where he is at this point.
Yeah. So Thieves Town is one of those areas that it's similar to Misery Mire in that it's going to take about the same amount of time to clear no matter what you do. Which is why we like going through and grabbing the chests. So the only way to get into Misery Mire is to flute to 6, and hey, there's the Tempered Sword in Thieves Town. Anyways, so flute to 6, lift the rock, and there will be a portal there that will get you into Misery Mire. There's no way in otherwise.
Yeah, it's all cut off from the remainder of the Dark World otherwise, so you have to use the flute. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for the Spag Duck Anthem.
Would you like one?
If you got one.
I got one. Since you saved me today, I will fly you away to wherever you say. Choose 1 through 8. And if you should take a trek to the desert southwest, then please make sure to check Agana's cave.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Bob-tastic.
Sorry, I forgot my words halfway through it. Oh well. Need to write it down.
You want to keep Dr. Bob-tastic on Zelda Idol, call 1-800-blah-blah-blah-blah-blah-blah-blah. Phone lines are open now through midnight tomorrow.
All right. So both players have gone into Thieves Town once again. So look, ACMLM just finishing off the area I like to call Grasshopper Alley.
I love the reaction to the whole Swag Duck Anthem for you. And apparently ACMLM has found the fire rod inside Thieves Town, so we know where they're going to be going at some point. They're going to have to make a return trip over to
All right.
Skull Woods. Skull Woods is beatable at this point. We already found both items inside, so it'd be a quick blitz to the boss. Ooh, do you like a fetch quest?
I would like to do a fetch quest.
Well, ACM just found some magic powder.
The powder? The powder? Yeah! I was told to overreact
And
to the
bolt
powder.
coin.
Nice. So we got the ether medallion. Now, let me tell you about the powder for a second. I love the magic powder. It's my favorite item in the game. Not close. I'm not saying I have a problem, but it is my favorite item in the game.
We already had an interrogation or what is
intervention?
that word? Intervention. Thank you. We already had an intervention with Wither J. Bradley in the last tournament about this. Are we gonna have to do the same with you?
I mean, the fact that I was so familiar with the word intervention might let you know that it's already happened. So,
you might need a second intervention then.
quite possibly. So ACMLM takes down Blind in short order, and picks up that crystal.
2 crystals for ACMLM versus 1 for AmazingAmpharos, but because ACMLM skipped the spiral cave,
There's that
he's
fire
in
rod.
big trouble.
Fire rod up in the skylight room.
So ACMLM might be turning in that powder while he's here in town. Totally understand it. You might also check the peg cave.
Yep, powder and peg cave. Though you just hate to see this slow slog through these pegs without the boots. So sad.
Why'd she find the boots in here?
That could be it.
Nope. Sorry. Try again, Rick.
I was getting my pitchfork ready
Why?
so I could call together the angry mob and burn you at the stake for being a witch. But it didn't happen, so you're safe.
Yay, I get to live.
All right, here is ACMLM doing the magic bat. Na 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 na.
No good.
Get out of my head, Adirondack Rick. What are you doing in there?
investigating your need for powder. Oh, ACMLM is back on Death Mountain.
Oh my, what is he doing?
Is he making the play? Is he heading for Spiral Cave? I would have to assume, based on his path right now, he's making the way to Spiral Cave.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else up here that he could get. He could go into Turtle Rock, but that's it. Like he couldn't go across the pit without the Cane of Samaria or like sick hovering skills.
Now, we know ACMLM is good at this game. I'm not sure if I've seen him hover before, but we know there's several players in this tournament who do know how to do that.
Yeah, he'll also be checking that floating island. And here he goes into the Spiral Cave. This will catch ACMLM back up, and we will have ourselves a race again.
Yeah, but the time that he's spending to backtrack up here will be taken away, and AmazingAmpharos will have the advantage at this point. It's not a big advantage. Neither of these runners are going to be too far apart from each other, which is why when ACMLM skipped the flute in here earlier, that was really a big problem, because if he didn't get back up here, he would have been so far behind.
Indeed. All
Flute
right.
pickup.
So ACMLM has the flute.
So now, again, the next play I would have to say for these runners, if they don't want to go to Skull Woods, they are going to put off going to Skull Woods, and I can understand why. They've already got both items out of there, and they would rather find the items they need for Go Mode.
Right.
The next stop has to be Desert.
Yep. Yeah, I like the desert play, and then like if for some reason you find the Cane of Samaria in there, you can go into Mire and finish that off as well.
We are still looking for a bow. We know the Cane of Samaria cannot be on the pedestal. At this point, we are hoping to see bombos on the pedestal, because then in that, not pedestal, but bombos to be the medallion required for Mire, because then he'd have to go do certain things. And
Indeed.
bombos could be on the pedestal.
Yep. So other things that could be on the pedestal, you could have the boots that were locking desert.
That'd be funny. I think ACMLM is going to be going to Skull Woods now.
Yeah. You got to finish it off at some point, and it's not that far out of the way.
I think AmazingAmpharos is going to be finishing off Skull Woods.
Yep. Gonna have ourselves another almost sink.
This stream of AmazingAmpharos ACMLM is brought to you by the Home Depot, where you can buy plenty of sinks.
Yeah. I've been told that sink is a thing there. Apparently we're supposed to do this together. That's what the Home Depot tells us.
People are booing me. You come up with something better.
Well, I thought that the Home Depot's slogan was "Let's do this together," which is perfect.
Somebody reported that they have a sinking feeling about this commentary.
Oh boy.
Lowe's isn't paying fees of the big bucks.
I don't think the Home Depot is paying fees of the big bucks either.
That could be negotiated.
Oh, okay. So ACMLM will be making his way toward Mothula, and Mothula should be a pretty straightforward fight when you have the tempered sword.
I think AmazingAmpharos would like to stop falling in a hole at this point.
There is that.
Ooh, that was a swing and a miss for ACMLM. But wow, that was a nice, fast Mothula. Goodbye.
Yep, that was. So ACMLM gets in there, makes a mistake, nobody notices, and it finishes off anyway in just a sickeningly fast time.
Shout out to Fiesel, who's been pretty much helping us throughout this entire tournament to make sure all of these Swiss matches get a restream going. So big props to him. AmazingAmpharos also destroying a bug really fast.
Beautiful.
Time to go take the flute on over to where I thought these guys needed to go, and we're going to find out what's required to get inside Misery Mire.
All right. So, Misery Mire. Gonna have to walk by a murder-dactyl and sort of avoid it on the way back.
Red mail is not a big problem.
ACM deciding not to let us know what it is yet. Instead, heading on into the Mire shed.
Red rupee and a bomb upgrade. AmazingAmpharos is making a different play. He's going to ice.
Yeah, I guess he is going to Ice Palace. I was
Quake required
expecting
for
that.
Misery Mire.
I was expecting perhaps the Zora play, but yeah.
So Quake required to get into both of our medallion dungeons.
Yep.
So AmazingAmpharos is going into Pendant Ice. This is a gamble.
This is a massive gamble. He must know the caliber of player he's up against.
Ooh, a small key turned out to be on the torch.
So if this is not the big key, we have a boots-locked desert.
Could still be boot locked. And
Oh, we have a boots-locked desert. So, boots on the pedestal, anybody?
Things just got a little more interesting in this game, my friends.
Alright, so ACMLM is going to head off to the northeast desert cave, the checkerboard cave.
And there's an arrow upgrade, so it looks like ACMLM is going to have to say goodbye to this area for now. But there's still possible items that were inside that Misery Mire that he didn't go and check out. You don't want to go into a dungeon that you may not be able to beat, but sometimes the seed control you and put that item in that dungeon, like we had seen in one of the qualifier races where the cane turned out to be in Mire and it unlocked other items.
So AmazingAmpharos is coming up on one of my favorite tricks in the game, the Ice Palace bomb jump. Nope, a little high there. It's a pretty exact trick.
Surprised AmazingAmpharos is having this much trouble. I think he's too low. Yeah, he was too low that time.
It was too high, then too high, then too low. Wow. His controller does not seem to be cooperating with him with his desire
That's
to move
too low.
exactly
Oh,
one
no, he got
pixel. No, that was it. So
Looks like-
ACMLM is making the Zora play.
All right, 500 rupees. What are we going to get? $500 for...
It's a
Oh,
little
life
love
lesson.
lesson.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
When it's a heart, I like to call it a love lesson.
Okay, what's next on the agenda is AMLM.
All right. This is still a very strange play on AA's part. The pendant ice play.
20 rupees. No. I think ACMLM is now going to be making the play for ice.
Interesting.
The Cane of Samaria.
That's gotta be Kane. Sorry, I had to steal it.
Remember, you'll be coming along for his royalty check real soon.
Yeah, I'll give Ryu some next time I see him.
So AmazingAmpharos making the play in Pendant Ice Palace to get to the Cane of Samaria. Don't also forget, this is the green pendant, so Sarashla could have the item.
Yeah. Both players making the play on Ice Palace, and the cane is in here. That's pretty good.
And we have the map.
Yep,
Not what
burrito time.
AmazingAmpharos want to see.
An icy burrito. What do you think comes in an icy burrito?
They rejected food that got discarded at Taco Bell.
Seems less than ideal for consumption.
Gonna make a comment. Taco Bell is they sponsor some stuff on Twitch. Don't really want to push it.
So, AmazingAmpharos and ACMLM heading. ACMLM following in the footsteps of AmazingAmpharos. AmazingAmpharos will be heading over to #that1chest in Ice Palace.
This is the jelly chest. It's also a disappointing jelly chest a lot of times, but maybe this has the third and final item. No, it doesn't. That means Cold Stare has the final item.
Yep. And we'll be picking up our last item from the Cold Stare Creamery downstairs.
That sounds really bad.
Every scoop comes with 400 calories and 4 hearts of damage.
Remind me never to go eat here. Can't we just call this the cotton candy bonds like others do?
Yeah, we could do that.
So ACMLM picking up the cane of Samaria, but not leaving here. Probably figures I've still got a couple more. I still have items to find. This is a green pendant. Don't really want to take the chance and find out that this ended up being something more than that. So let's see what Cold Stare has. Into the corner.
Yep.
And
ACM. Yeah, ACM. I'm not ACM. AA puts him in the corner real well. Gets the riot shield.
Now AmazingAmpharos can ride his way on over to Sarashla and see what he has in store.
Yep, we've seen quite a few Sahasrara required seeds.
Could this be another?
Oh, so you can just literally step out of Ice Palace, not move, and mirror. Okay, I should know that.
Well, AmazingAmpharos is not going to trade in that green pendant just yet. It's time to head on over and see what Misery Mire has in store.
Yep. On account of having that Cane of Samaria, he will be able to go inside and finish off Misery Mire.
And he'll also probably do what ACMLM does, peek inside a desert to find out that this is not a beatable dungeon.
Yep. There will be that rash of disappointment.
You call that disappointment?
Possibly. I mean, when you go into a dungeon, you want to be able to beat it.
That's a good point. You also know what dungeon they can peek their head into too that could have an item? Or 5?
Turtle Rock?
Exactly.
Yep. They could peek their head into Palace of Darkness, but I don't think they want to do that one.
Especially with both of these guys knowing how the logic works for the first 3 items.
Indeed. There's only 3 chests in there that are not technically locked in the logic by the bow, and you can actually garner quite a bit of information by going in there and checking some of the chests that aren't on that list.
As long as you remember about the logic at that point and what it says about the bow, ACMLM ends up gambling on the jelly chest and gets rewarded when he finds the riot shield. And down goes Cold Stare. He gets the green pendant. Now, will ACMLM make the same play?
Who knows? Only ACMLM does. And just a small key at the bridge in Misery Mire, so you don't get the super fast mire.
Actually, told ACM did check the jelly chest. Never mind. He went a different way to get to it.
Right. right, so there's
Bomb
the first
upgrade.
item in
First
Misery.
item.
So there's only
Interesting.
2 items here in Misery Mire. Just 2.
Yep, and until they find both of those items, they're going to continue to look for them. We are still looking for the bow. We are still looking for boots because we now know the boots are required this seed. Both of which could be anywhere except for the bow can't be in pod. The bow can't be behind the Armos in Eastern.
Bow can't be at the top of Ganon's tower, but you need it to do the other stuff anyway. So it can't be anywhere in Ganon's tower. We could easily have bow in Turtle Rock, bow in Swamp Palace.
Bow on the pedestal, boots on the pedestal.
It's nice to know that you're only a couple of items away from go mode. It's less nice to know that those items have such a wide possibility of distribution. So that's interesting. ACM actually went to the spike chest first and then came to the bridge chest.
I don't think it really matters. You're gonna go check.
There's the second item.
Oh, piece of heart. So the game says no to Misery Mire. That's misery.
I believe there are 216 total locations or something like that.
That's what the end number says. Actually, I think it's more like 218 now, if I'm remembering correctly, because the 2 added chests.
Right. But there's also like a couple of locations that aren't actually randomized but are still included in the count. So like the first chest in Swamp.
So we see AmazingAmpharos going to Vitreous, and acmlm, who hasn't found the second item just yet, will be heading on over to do a little bit of torching.
Yep. So.
Good point in chat as well. This dungeon also opens up another possibility for 2 extra chests for these guys.
Yes. Because Skull Woods and Misery Mire are crystals 5 and 6. That means we can pick up the super bomb and blow a giant hole in the pyramid, which I don't think either player has checked what's on the pyramid.
You are right, neither have.
Yeah, so that's actually pretty efficient routing if you're going to check Fat Fairy.
I think acmlm is actually gambling on the second item being at Vitreous.
Interesting. And he may just, opt to skip the rest of it entirely, even if it's not a Vitreous. And which we know it will not be.
Sometimes gambles can come back to play. We'll see if ACM's actually does. Don't forget, these guys also have the green pendant, so they can trade that into Sarashla when they are ready to do so, but I'm certain they would like to do so before they walk into Pod or back into Eastern.
Yep, that's probably a pretty good route for that. AmazingAmpharos taking out the vast majority of those eyeballs with just a couple of spins by caping into the middle.
Take advantage of the things the game gives you, and now we go to see the actually get yourself hit strats from acmlm, and AmazingAmpharos playing with an eyeball, and the eyeball is down.
Yep, playing a little wall tennis with the eyeball. See what happens.
acmlm serve.
Yep, and that's match point for ACMLM.
Game, set, and match, acmlm. By default. Now does acmlm go back in to check that second item? AmazingAmpharos is going to go into the desert. We'll get some really bad news in about 30 seconds from now.
he actually hasn't checked this ledge item, so he went down there to check that.
ACMLM is back in Meyer. He wants to get that second item. He wants to make sure he's not leaving anything behind.
Yep, and that's going to end up costing him some time overall.
And he's going to go check the right-hand side first, and will be unhappy to find that, nope, it's not going to be on that side. You had to do the 4 torches to get to it. As AmazingAmpharos gets the story that boots are required this seed.
All right, so both of our players are going to be, beginning the quest for the bow and the boots. So where do you think those items are going to be? Just throwing that out there.
I am going to say the bow will be in Turtle Rock.
Okay.
The boots on the pedestal.
Ooh, that's going to be fun. Will they ever find the book to be able to check it?
No, because the Helmet Star King's going to drop the book.
All right. You heard it here first, folks. Right,
Actually, no, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Actually, they're going to find the book in Right Side Desert.
Oh, okay. That's a pretty good place to have it. All right, so AmazingAmpharos is going to be taking this large bomb to the pyramid.
Is this a cherry bomb?
It resembles a cherry, however, it's less tasty.
We also will get to see what's on the pyramid, as you mentioned before.
Indeed.
And ACMLM is going to be doing the same exact thing that AmazingAmpharos is doing, so these two still mirroring each other.
Yep, very similar routing in a lot of cases from both of these players. Looks like AA is going to check that pyramid while the bomb is going off, which is a great use of your time. It's just a piece of heart. Vanilla pieces of heart everywhere.
No, ACMLM is checking swamp.
There's the book!
And bombs. Well, that book is very interesting.
So the book is in the Fat Fairy. And ACMLM is heading into Swamp Palace. Ooh. That's going to feel unfortunate if it turns out to be important.
AmazingAmpharos is going to check in that green pendant.
Yep. Well, no, I think he's going to Hobo.
Yeah, Hobo. Remember, he didn't fake Flipper because he doesn't fake Flipper.
All right, so AmazingAmpharos is going to pick up the treasure hoard from the hobo. Meanwhile, ACMLM will be starting to check chests inside Swamp Palace. So, how many times have you seen the hammer in this chest that ACMLM is about to open?
Twice.
Yep, it's a thing, and nobody expects it.
I remember doing commentary in the first tournament where it turned out to be in that chest, and it was on back-to-back nights too.
Wow.
All right, green pendant check time for AmazingAmpharos, and what does Sarasula have for you?
Just some explosives. That did in fact bomb. You are correct.
Gotta love those blueberries. Now, is AmazingAmpharos going to be making a play for... Oh, he's going to be checking the Ether Tablet.
Ah.
Could he make the play for Turtle Rock afterwards?
That's a possibility. It's the nearest location. It's not something I wish on anyone. It's not something I wish on my worst enemy. But there you go.
Well, I'm thinking AmazingAmpharos is trying to figure out where the breadcrumbs are supposed to lead him.
Indeed. So this book, we're gonna check the Fat Fairy. I mean, not the Fat Fairy, the Ether Tablet, and then move along.
Well, just remember the seed is bootless until boots.
You are correct. That is very true. Now, we haven't really seen any uncle messages this tournament because it's open mode instead of standard. Kind of miss them a little bit.
Hey, we found a heart container. That's exactly what AmazingAmpharos wanted to see right there. Probably not.
Yeah, pretty sure. However, it doesn't hurt. And AmazingAmpharos is heading east, which means the Turtle Rock play may be happening.
It is time to see the Turtle Rock play. Whether or not AmazingAmpharos finds something big in Turtle Rock, as I mentioned before, could have the bow inside.
Yep. Could have the bow in Mimic Cave. Could have the bow in any number of places. If it's going to be on Trinex, we're also going to need to find the ice rod.
Ooh, this silly game.
All right, so ACMLM picks up the big key in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, he's gonna go to Argus now, and then he'll backtrack later.
Yeah, I don't believe he went left side yet, so... Alrighty.
Turtle Rock versus Swamp Palace, both pendant dungeons.
I do like having the tempered sword for Argus.
It's how you're supposed to have an NMG. And boots!
Boots! What are those, ladies and gentlemen? What are those? And there's the boots in Turtle Rock. Amazing
And a
Empharos
mushroom.
with the amazing play.
Mushroom on Argus.
Yep.
Fetch Quest City.
Which could have the bow.
And now the only thing that could be on the pedestal would be the bow.
Alright, key and big key in the Turtle Rock fire rod locked room.
So ACMLM is going to have to make his way up to Turtle Rock at some point.
Yep. That is a solid play on AA's part, and it's very difficult to know that that's going to be the case. ACM going to make the left side play now in Swamp.
Right now, ACMLM needs Swamp to pay out big with the bow, or have that mushroom turn into the bow. Or in the case of having the pedestal be required, because that means AmazingAmpharos, unless he finds the ice rod in here, is going to be making a double dip.
Indeed. So do we so AA will probably be heading to this vanilla big key chest, I would think. When you're still looking for an item.
Yeah, there's pretty much no reason to gamble at this point, and having a little bit of trouble getting rid of the poke key finally does so.
Having the mirror shield always helps.
And this might be part of the reason why he's here, because he found the mirror shield quite easy, and maybe that screaming laser bridge.
Quite possibly. Alright, so the next two things that AA will be checking are the big chest and potentially Mimic Cave, though not necessarily in that order.
He'll be checking Mimic Cave next. Guaranteed item there. And then we'll go ahead and find another item coming up real soon. We have found 2 items in this Turtle Rock. There are 3 remaining. And oh, there's the fourth bottle for ACMLM.
Indeed.
And left side turned out to be a bust.
All right, so I imagine ACMLM will be checking the Fat Fairy room as well, and then potentially heading to turn in that mushroom.
Yeah, that gives him a bigger reason to get on over to Catfish.
That is very true. Neither player has seen Catfish either.
All right, Mimic Cave is a 20 rupee.
You sure do see a whole lot of 20 rupees in this game.
You sure do. You sure do. So we are now one item away from go mode. Where is the bow?
There it is!
There it is!
It's in Turtle Rock!
And therefore, with that, ACMLM needs to get up to Turtle Rock ASAP. AmazingAmpharos is in go mode.
We have a go mode for AmazingAmpharos, and that is huge.
It is extremely huge because now he can knock off the remainder of this desert. 2 items in that Turtle Rock. 2 huge items. And I'm not sure if ACMLM is going to get there fast enough.
Yeah, Turtle Rock is a play that most players don't like to do unless they have to. And they do have to, but you don't know it.
And we're going to be asking AmazingAmpharos once this race is over with what prompted them to head up to Turtle Rock when he did. So now time to clean things up. Time to get this dungeon run over with for AmazingAmpharos. ACMLM is going to... check North Graveyard.
All right. Perfectly legitimate play. I mean, I really can't fault the routing of any of these players.
That's 100% correct. And AmazingAmpharos is going to check this just because he's in the vicinity. It turns out to be an arrow upgrade. Nothing he needs. Just get on over to the final part of this dungeon and head on over to the boss.
Yes, there are in fact a couple of upgrades that would still help someone out. The butter sword and the silver arrows particularly.
But these 2 runners are not going to go out of their way to get either of them.
Right. You might check a couple of chests that are right along the way, but that's it.
ACMLM is going to be turning in the mushroom. We're going to see what that turns into. Everything you see in this routing here from ACMLM, there's nothing wrong with it, except it's not what he needs to do because of what we know.
There's nothing wrong with this routing except for the fact that it's wrong. Though it's not wrong a priori is the thing. That when you sit here and you're thinking, where do I go next? What do I need to do? What's the most efficient? A lot of times you're thinking, what's going to give me the lowest expected time? And ACMLM is pretty good at figuring that out. And unfortunately, it's just Turtle Rock happened to have it.
Turtle Rock happened to have it, and what would help to lead him up there would be a nice ice rod. But he has yet to find that just yet. And right now, he's probably falling under the breadcrumb problem.
Yep, he's doing the depth first traversal of the seed, which can sometimes lead you down a dead end.
So AmazingAmpharos is now going to be wrapping things up. A quick trip into Pod, and then a finishing trip on through Eastern, and that's it.
Yep, AmazingAmpharos heading over to Palace of Darkness, otherwise known as Mullet Mansion. Because it's business in the front and party in the back.
Now, here we go. ACMLM is going to be making the play up to Turtle Rock. The problem now is the gap that AmazingAmpharos has put on him.
All right, so AA is going to be go moding pod. The advantage in go moding pod is once you find the big key, you can pretty much head for the exit as long as you have at least one more key as you're heading down. Helmasaur King won't be too much trouble with the hammer and the tempered sword.
Well,
There's
that's a nice setup. That's an extremely nice setup.
Yep. And you just need one more key and you are good to go. And there it is.
It is. Go right back in, go back through, and there you go. This is actually the God setup to pod.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think you could do much better.
ACMLM hates dead rocks.
You're not wrong. Pretty much everybody hates dead rocks. Not sure whose idea that was. But we're gonna have to check on their... We're gonna have to check and see if they're still employed.
Sadly, they probably are. The bad game designers always seem to find a way to stay in unemployment.
Alright, so AmazingAmpharos is gonna take a shot at an eyeball and then get himself a 14-second break.
Grab a drink, get ready. Probably think that ACMLM is right behind him, if not ahead of him.
Alright, so AmazingAmpharos heading through these dark turtle rooms. Now, some players do have the ability to do these rooms in the dark, and sometimes, in order to make a decent time, it's pretty much the best move you can do. Now, of course...
If they intended to give these guys, to make these guys do the dark rooms, they wouldn't have given them a lamp.
That is true. The lamp makes those much easier and will never it will never actually require you to do a dark room, but the lamp can sometimes be so far out of the way that it's, you know, very prohibitive to go get it.
Well, ACMLM is about to go pick up the boots and probably start feeling a little bad about himself right now.
Alright, so AA dispatches the Helmasaur King.
He will soon mirror to Eastern, finish that dungeon off. That will be his final Crystal Dungeon as ACMLM. Probably about a minute and a half away from getting the bow, and at that point, what goes through ACMLM's mind?
Well, when he gets the bow, he's probably thinking, really hope AA didn't go to Turtle Rock early. And he's gonna start putting his A game on, I assure you.
To answer Jay Coper, yep, it was in the Hookshot Cave. That's where the hammer turned out to be.
Yep. It was in the bottom chest where you can actually get to it without the hookshot if you have the boots.
Canis Maria turned out to be an ice palace.
So Pendant Ice Palace having significant value. Pendant Turtle Rock having significant value. Pendant Swamp, not so much.
Bow turned out to be in the big chest, which ACMLM is going to be getting to in just a moment.
All right. So AmazingAmpharos going through the top floor of Eastern Palace. These are pretty straightforward rooms, requiring some arrows and some sword slashes to complete.
AmazingAmpharos still going to be putting together a good time and probably still wondering where ACMLM is going to be because he knows the skill that he's up against. Both of these runners know that each other is very good at this.
I feel like, though, that AA will probably feel like he's in the lead because of that Turtle Rock gamble.
Well, the thing is does AmazingAmpharos worry that ACMLM went up there a little sooner than he did and was able to pull it out? Who knows? It's possible. There's the go mode for ACMLM. Well, that's just as AmazingAmpharos cleans up on his final crystal. He will be going up to Death Mountain. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to do our usual guessing game. Dr. Bombtastic, go ahead.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, there are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower. It is your job to determine where the big key will be found. In one of those 22 chests, you can choose a number, you can choose a specific location, but it's got to be a specific one. You can't just say rando room. That's 4 locations. That doesn't count.
I choose F.
You choose F? Are you pressing F to pay respects?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick 11.
11, you say? I, of course, am contractually obligated to pick Bob's chest on account of what my name is.
All right, well, we'll see if you're contractually obligated. It is correct.
Yep. And of course, today it is also time for me to tell you about the Ganon's Tower conspiracy. Have you heard of the Ganon's Tower conspiracy?
So what is this Ganon's Tower conspiracy you mentioned?
Well, there are 22 chests that you must pick up, or that can contain the big key. The very last one most people check is in the tile room. Do you know how many tiles are in the formation that it shoots at you?
22.
22.
Stay tuned for more creepy facts with Dr. Bobtastic here on the Link to the Past Randomizer tournament.
Well, there's a key in the
Bob's torch. Key.
Rip me.
I'll take over the commentary for the remainder of this run, since apparently
Bob
Dr.
is dead.
Bobtastic is dead.
Alright, so AmazingAmpharos working his way into the Stall Children room.
2 no.
Silver arrows!
4 no.
Bombos!
5 bombos. Well, there's where bombos was.
Yep, so
This is the
AmazingAmpharos
dark-
is doing the DM strat, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, the Dark Magician strat, which gave me a tempered sword to beat my opponent in the secondary tournament. 6 no, 7 piece of heart. Time to pull out your cane of Samaria. It's gonna go right hand side.
Indeed. Alright, so AmazingAmpharos will probably walk directly through the tile room, or rather dash directly through the tile room. Thankfully enough, as long as you don't move before you dash, you can dash right through that door.
So the 7 was the last chest we checked. We're going to be coming upon number 8. Remember, I picked, I believe, what was it?
You said number 11, I believe?
Yes. We'll see if I'm correct. 8 is no. 9 is
9.
yes. So if you pick 9 on the right-hand side, you win something. It's too late to be handing out Herfy Durfy's love and affection, so what do you have
probably
to
true.
offer, Dr. Bobtastic?
So what you win is a full uncut album in your brain of Dr. Bobtastic's greatest swag duck hits.
No refunds.
Correct.
Operators are standing by.
All right, so AmazingAmpharos is going to head through this room full of traps and Igors and head on to the ball bridge.
The ball bridge, where you can't get enough balls.
Very true. Meanwhile, ACM with the sick dash through the conveyor hallway in pod.
Yep, and I think
And
he ended
a
up
very
gambling.
nice first room in Gauntlet from AA.
Yeah, I think ACMLM is gambling on that big key being there, but it doesn't work out in his favor.
Indeed, if only he had checked that very first accessible chest inside there, he would have had all he could stand.
So the winner of this matchup stays undefeated. They will qualify for the race-off, but one win out of their next 3 gets them officially into the group stage.
Indeed. Just one win gets them into the group stage. Unfortunately, it has to be against other people who are 3-0.
Yeah, and for people who are 2-1, guess who's coming down with them? ACMLM is going to be in that group.
Yeah. I'm not going to count him out completely. There is always the random possibility of problems, but it does seem quite likely at this point that AmazingAmpharos will be going on to win this race.
And don't forget, there's certain strong players who are in the 1 and 2 sector as well.
Indeed. There was the Andy Ben race that resulted in a 1 and 2 player. Can't remember who won that one. It was Ben, right?
It was somebody. I don't know who it was. Some no name.
Yeah. Whew.
So what would you say at this point, while we're seeing the climb of this tower, what do you think was the definitive play that gave AmazingAmpharos this huge lead?
Well, I mean, it clearly had to be that play on Turtle Rock as early as possible. You know, after beating Meyer and going into Desert, just going straight to Turtle Rock and being like, well, I hope it's here.
Going into the Turtle Rock, where there's 5 items, it pays off. Turtle Rock does have value in version 26. May not have been the version a few times ago where it decided every time the bow was going to be in there, but this time it turned out to be in there for different reasons. Ooh. Hey, Blue Boomerang! This run has been validated.
AmazingAmpharos opens up the validation chest. I don't find it to be a bad strategy in his current situation, actually, on account of it might be the butter sword, and it will take you less time to check it and you'll gain a lot more from getting the butter sword.
Alright, time to go ahead and deal with Aghanim 2, which unfortunately AmazingAmpharos is not getting anything on that second stage because blue balls are horrible.
You are correct. Nobody likes to be hit with a bunch of blue balls.
No comment.
Just stating the facts.
Still no comment. And with the whistling to the swag duck, we see AmazingAmpharos head on over to Ganon. And barring a major catastrophe, he will go to 3-0 in this tournament.
Indeed. Just a little bit more left in this race. So we've got Tempered Sword Ganon. Ganon, of course, with Tempered Sword, going to take 12 slashes in the first phase and 12 slashes in the second phase. Then in the third phase, it'll take 1 slash per stomp. And then just 4 silver arrows to a blue Ganon in the final phase. Hey, making use of cape strats.
Might as well at this point. The seed gave him plenty of safeties.
He's still got a green potion from way back in Kakariko Village.
Yeah, that's why he feels pretty safe just going straight cape strats. If something bad was to happen, which I don't expect it to do, he would have backup options.
And AmazingAmpharos moves on to phase 4. Did we find the arrows in his tower? Yes, we did.
Where were they?
They were in the Stallchild room.
Yeah, it's not like AmazingAmpharos isn't going to be hitting him with them right now. For 2, there's 3, and here's the final hit, and AmazingAmpharos has won this race. Yeah, he'll be going through the door with an official SRL time in just a moment. Congratulations to AmazingAmpharos, 3-0 in the Swiss bracket.
Indeed. AmazingAmpharos finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 23 seconds. Congratulations.
And it pretty much was just the gamble to head on over to Turtle Rock, which really wasn't a gamble, but we say it's a gamble more along the lines of it's as much of a gamble as going into Skull Woods, or rather Swamp Palace. That's what I mean, Swamp Palace. You have the ability to go through Swamp Palace. You have the ability to go and check out most of the items in Turtle Rock. It's a gamble which one you go to.
It's very true.
The reason why we call this the Swiss bracket is because the way this tournament is set up is a 6-round Swiss. Matchups are paired based on your record each week.
Yeah, so everybody who's 3-0 will play against somebody else who is 3-0. Of course, if there is a odd number of those, then you have a 3-0 playing a 2-1, but that's beside the point.
So we're going to go ahead and see AmazingAmpharos probably speed up the credits in just a moment, as he says in IRC. Then he'll begin to talk about this, because we do want to get through what was on his mind when he decided to check a few of the things in this seat, like why he decided to go to Turtle Rock when he did over the other options he had, why he went into Ice Palace when he did.
Indeed. And it was just a heart piece on the pedestal. So once again, the pedestal hype was very, very dead.
Well, that makes me feel sad.
Yep. So ACM is going to be heading into the Ganon's tower.
I've yet to have a pedestal seat. I would love to have one of these days.
I've had one in a race before. Does that count?
I have had a few in a race before. They feel fantastic.
I'm sure they do.
Stay tuned, because coming up after this race, we do have another race beginning at 11 o'clock Eastern time, and so in about 20 minutes.
Yep. It's a race between Toadso and
Haikyuu type.
Haikyuu type, right.
Toiso versus Haikyuu type. That's going to have Jet and Jay Cooper on commentary, so stay tuned for that. We're waiting for AmazingAmpharos to come in for commentary for post-race interview.
Yep. So pretty soon, 4 bonks for AmazingAmpharos. You kind of expect a low bonk count on account of how late the boots were found, but maybe not that low, especially since 2 of those bonks were intentional. No, 3 of those bunks were intentional. At least.
Let's see.
There was the
One
one
in
on the
desert.
torch, the one on Ganon's torch, and then the one to get into the Stolfos room in Ganon's tower.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's a small amount of bongs right there.
only one unintentional bonk. And I'm gonna bring AA in. Hello, AA. Good GG.
Thanks. You know, there were things I was hoping would happen in the seed, and I got most of them.
Was
All
Turtle
right.
Rock required one of them?
So I took ACMLM ridiculously seriously as an opponent. Before this match, I went and did film study on his routing, and I noticed he plays closer to older versions of the randomizer, where he's more thorough with the overworld. He's just very thorough in general, and as kind of makes sense if you have the skill set he does, relies on his top-tier execution to just check everything faster than you check some things. So I was like, I want to go straight to dungeons, especially the algorithmically favorable ones like Ice and Mire. Green Pendant Ice was calling to me. Getting that Cana Samaria, I'm assuming first, was the first moment I felt ahead.
Yep, you did get it first, although ACM did go into ice right after you did.
Yeah, that makes sense, because the seed kind of led you to do a lot of overworld, which I wasn't super happy about, but the choice between Swamp and T-Rock, like, if V26 were a neutral algorithm, Swamp would be the obvious call, but it's not, so Turtle Rock is ridiculously more likely to have what you need.
Now, what do you say that for?
Because Turtle Rock has 1 million keys and Swamp doesn't have any.
Good.
Especially needing boots. You know, if boots are going to be in a dungeon, the most likely dungeon for them to be in is Turtle Rock.
That actually makes sense. The logic you just talked about, having the keys, because if you read how the logic is done, they take the items and place them where they're accessible, you know? And if it's not accessible, you move on to the next location. Well, some of those you're gonna have more locations where they can be placed in a dungeon with more keys. So
it's not so much that, they reverse the order they read the list after they place dungeon-specific items like keys. So, if you think about it, and they place, progression items before nice-to-haves before junk. So if you think about it, how low in the list is the lowest position likely to be for a dungeon with a lot of keys versus none? The one with a lot of keys is going to be lower. It's kind of a fine point. It's really subtle, actually, but it's the reason Skull Woods is so loaded in V26. Like, even in this seed, Bugnet and Shovel weren't required, but they're items that are placed relatively early. Compared to, like, all those big 20s that I think Twitch chat loves.
Yep, pretty much. So yeah, when the main thing that pulled you out ahead was you went to Turtle Rock way out in front, and that made all of this difference here.
I mean, with what I'd already checked, I couldn't imagine at least one of Boots or Bow not being in TR. Because, Pod is logically almost entirely Bow blocked. There was the possibility Bow was in Swamp and Boots were in Pod, and if that happened, then I guess I'd just lost. But, Turtle Rock was the most likely place to have at least one. When it had both, that was even better.
And at that point, you had the idea that you were ahead.
Yeah, but I still thought I had checked a fair percentage of the world, and I take ACM crazy seriously as an opponent, so I further used my film study of his routing in Ganon's Tower to take a route that's almost as good, but the opposite of what he does.
Well, it would be funny to find out that he made that same route.
Oh, wow.
No, he went the full left side.
Oh, he did? I thought he mirrored.
No, he went full left side.
No, I did the old Dark Magician route where...
ACM went full left side is what I'm saying.
Yeah. To be clear, if I didn't find Big Key on the right side in those 4 chests, I was going all the way with it.
Yeah, you were going to go to Ice Armos and everything like that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if the Big Key was in Rando Room, well, that was going to suck. But, you know, you're always betting against something, no matter what route you take.
Yeah, so I very much appreciate the insight into all your logic here. It's very, very interesting.
Light World was really linear, though, and the only correct decision I made out of it was not going to Zora.
Yep.
Yep.
Both of you guys made exactly the same decisions in different orders.
Yeah, it really makes sense because, you know, however you went about it, unless you did some silly Uncle First route, but who would ever do that? You're gonna check out CAC and Southern Shore and the Escape in some reasonable sequence, get all those spots, not really find much of anything in the way of progression. The math says go to Eastern there. Then you get almost Dark World, you need Moon Pearl, you're down to 2 spots. Agana's a lot closer than Zora.
Yep. I mean, you really don't want to go up to Zora without, you know, some way of getting into the Waterfall Cave, because you don't want to go back.
I wonder what wonderful items were in that waterfall this seed. Could have been the Cane of Burna, could have been the 4th sword, could have been 20 rupees and some arrow capacity.
I think it was pretty much like something of that regard. So it wasn't anything good because we did see ACMLM make it that direction.
Yeah, he did eventually go to the Zora check.
Yeah, I was considering doing Catfish Mirror Waterfall Zora, but I was like, I'll do that after Turtle Rock if I have to.
ACMLM is dropping all his bombs. He drops the final one on top of that chest and says goodbye.
Did he abandon his boomerang?
No, he opened it.
He opened it and then dropped all of his bombs.
I just opened it on the off chance it was the 4th sword. I don't actually care about the memes one way or the other.
Yeah, that's what we figured. We figured, you know, it's actually a good play at this point. Because, you know, for getting the butter sword is going to make more difference than the time it takes to check that chest.
But yeah, you have no idea how lucky I felt in GT doing the DM route. Because you could have gone right side with the key if, you know, you did that thing, but then you would have missed silvers. Full left side does a lot of extra stuff. Only the Dark Magician route, beeline silvers, and then beeline's big key in this seed.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know, that's just incredible. That's really lucky that I used this GT route.
So another early thing that had us worried about ACMLM was he took a while to check Spiral Cave.
Yeah, he skipped it the first time through and then had to go back up there. And that was the only thing he ended up doing was Spiral Cave before coming back down. And that added to his time.
Oh, yeah. East Death Mountain in both worlds, especially Dark, was just loaded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how about that the hammer inside the Hookshot Cave and things like that?
It was first flute from Spiral Cave, then I got what? Hammer, flippers, and what was the 3rd progression item I got there? I could swear there was another one. It wasn't as exciting as hammer or flippers. It was something cool.
I don't know. I want to think you're right, but I can't remember what it was.
Cape.
Oh yeah, the cape. I was like, well, that's really nice. I used it.
Yeah, you sure did. On the Ganon fight, it was excellent cape strats.
Yeah, I also used it against Vitreous and maybe somewhere else. Maybe not. It's hard to remember. But yeah, the only thing about this seed that could have been better from my perspective would have been if Misery Mire was blocked by Ether instead of Quake. Because I don't know if ACM went straight into Thieves Town early or if he waited for Hammer.
You guys both went into Thieves Town at the same time.
Ah, so it wouldn't have made a difference.
Oh, triple to finish things off for ACMLM.
Yeah.
Excellent.
When you see a medallion in the Thieves Town big chest in a seed where your access to Dark World is myths, you always begin to suspect that you might have that medallion well ahead of your opponent. Because, you know, anyone who does Thieves right away, it's going to become the last chest in the world.
And the Moonwalk ACM goes in.
Finishes with a time of 1 hour, 49 minutes, and 24 seconds.
And knowing ACMLM, we're not going to get him in for an interview. He'll talk about it in the IRC to come into the chat to talk about it. We do have another race coming up in about 8 minutes. So you're 3-0, Amazing Ampharos. Your thoughts going into week 4?
Being 3-0 is pretty awesome. Like, I went into this week with the mindset I'm going to do my best. I'll do the study and all that. But, you know, ACM's a fierce competitor, and I'm probably still fine at 2-1. I didn't really plan ahead for actually being 3-0, but I know it's really nice. I'll probably get another total monster next week.
Any particular competitor you're hoping to avoid next week?
Christos is 3-0, isn't he?
Yep.
So,
That would be a good one to dodge.
Okay, now the admins are going to set it up for that just now.
I don't believe
mathematically, it's not that unlikely. There's only 12 3-0 players or something?
Yep.
something like
And
that.
even that
I believe
aside,
there's 13, maybe.
I figure everyone else who's 3-0 is 3-0 for a reason. I don't expect an easy game at all.
You're not going to expect an easy race at all in this tournament. You've had Gamer Cal. Who was your second opponent? Problems IRL. And now ACMLM. They've given it to you, and you're still 3-0.
I mean, it's a tournament of killers. The qualifiers did their job. They filtered it down to a group of 100 very skilled players.
Absolutely, and
I mean, there's others who've had probably harder routes than I have. Look what the defending champions had to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no easy matchup in this tournament at all, and to get a win, it means a lot. So you're now 3-0. You're going to be waiting for next week. We got another race coming up in just a moment. So any closing thoughts?
None particularly. Great game, ACM. Certainly an exciting seed. I feel a little lucky, but I'm also happy with how I played, and I look forward to seeing this next match. I bet it'll be a good one, too.
All right, Amazing Ampharos, ACMLM, follow both of those runners, and we'll see how they go with next week when they play week 4 of this tournament. GG, all of you.
I'm going to read a comment from ACMLM. He says, what am I supposed to do when the only choice is 2 pendant dungeons and a lot of overworld? That was his take on the seed. So
the answer is a pendant dungeon in this seed.
Apparently so. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure commentating for you tonight. I want you to make sure to follow the Speed Gaming Network and the Randomizer Mania Network for all of the Zelda randomizer you could possibly stand, and then some. Make sure to follow our runners and thank you so much to our tracker Philion, and thank you to you Adirondack Rick for an excellent job commentating today.
And thank you for joining me. Stay tuned. Next we have Haikyuu Type versus Toyso. That's going to have Jet and Jay Cooper on commentary. So we're out of here. They will be taking it away in just a moment. Thank you for joining us.
Signing off.
Take it away, Jet.
Thank